up for Liz, you guys. Keep it up for her. Hi. Oh my God, it's like I planned it. That's lovely. Hi. I will just, I will let you know the kind of black person I am because a lot of people get it wrong. First of all, I don't do political comedy. I just have this face, all right? I just look like this. It's just a vibe. I know nothing, actually. I sometimes even black people get it wrong. You know, like I'll tell you, I'm a Disney black. Does that make sense? Yeah. That exists. Yeah. You know, sometimes I'm around, and I'm in a conversation with a black person, and I can tell that they think my head is filled with all the quotes of our ancestors, like Malcolm and Martin and Maya. And I'm just in that conversation like, oh no, it's all Muppets up here. Like I read it in college, but I can't tell you why the cage bird sings. I can tell you how the Muppets took Manhattan. I can. It was with a hit musical. Kermit wrote it. Lovely. I'm actually celebrating my 2-year anniversary of moving here to New York tomorrow. And thank you, yes. And I'm originally from a town that nobody's ever heard of. Clap if you're from a place that nobody's ever heard of. Yeah, yeah. Okay. For the rest of you, I just need you to know we live a special kind of hell, okay? Because all you people from places that people have heard of, people, like, they hear where you're from, they're like, oh, New York, Detroit, Chicago, cool. And then they just move on in the conversation. Not us people that are from places that you've never heard of. Because we do things in conversation, like we never come right out and say it, right? We say things like, we live, that place, that big metropolitan city that you know? We live an hour outside of that. Remember that big fire that happened 5 years ago? We could smell it, Like that's what we do. That's what we do for you so that you just move on in the conversation, right? Because we don't want to get into it, but there's always, and I'm so sorry, but it's always a man that needs to get to the bottom of it. In conversation, it's like he's a little detective, And I think what's going on is they think that when we don't share the name of our town, that we're challenging their knowledge of geography. And it's just like, calm down, Marco Polo. Like, it's just boring, that's all. This happens a lot, and they press. They gotta get to the bottom of it, and when they press, I start sounding like a runaway slave. They're like, come on, just say the name of the town. I'm like, don't matter where I's from. I's here now. And I's fought long and hard for an apartment on Street Easy. Yeah. I'm from a town called Rialto, which it's a town in California. The only reason the name sounds familiar is because I name a lot of theaters after the name Rialto. You see how boring that was? You see how that wasn't fun for any of us? Okay, let us move on. Yeah, I moved here 2 years ago. I was living in LA. That was a little better than Rialto. But then it got bad. Like, I don't know if anybody lives in LA now or escaped LA, but it was rough times. And I did something very dumb. I asked the universe for something. Don't do that. The universe is a little bitch, okay? One day I was like tired. I was like, I need a sign. I'm like, universe, give me a sign to stay in LA. And I'm not kidding. Literally the next day, my car was stolen, you guys. LA drop kicked me out of the state. Do you understand? Like, I was like, you could have said it nicer. I feel like, as a woman, we're always trying to look for the deeper meaning. That's very loud, right? It's okay, he's getting his order in. But yeah, I was looking for the deeper meaning, my car being stolen is a very difficult thing to go through. And what I realized is that 3 months before my car was stolen, somebody attempted to steal the car, but they failed, right? They just messed up the locks a little bit. And so what I choose to believe in my little heart is that both times it was the same person, okay? Because I hate that my car was stolen, but I love a training montage. You know what I mean? I love thinking about this man going through a character journey. Do you understand? I think every woman in this room likes a training montage because we like to watch any man at all get his shit together. That's, we're looking at the movie, but we're thinking about you like, so it's possible, actually, if you did one push-up. But yeah, I think about the man that stole my car. I'm rooting for him, you know what I mean? I want to see him succeed, you know, because I know in the beginning, he's a mess, he's a loser, you know, he's showing up to the car stealings late, right? But then he fails, you know, he's got to get his act together. Maybe he goes into a stationery store. Maybe he buys a planner. Now he's showing up to the car stealings on time. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm okay with my car being stolen as long as one man learns time management. That's what I'm saying to you. You could date that man. That's a dateable man, you know? Sure, he steals cars, but he will never stand you up at an Applebee's, okay? That's a good man. I've been observing New York life, and here's what I've come to as a conclusion is, as a black woman, if I want any sort of power in this town, I need to be working at the post office. Have you seen that shit? That's where true power is. No, have you seen the black women at the post office? They are scared of nothing and no one, okay? That's true power, to be able to yell at anybody indiscriminately and not lose your job. You think Beyonce is powerful? Beyonce doesn't even talk to the press, okay? She doesn't even do interviews, you guys. These women are talking to the public every day and not getting fired, okay? And they talk to people however they feel like. That is power. I think that might be where Kamala fucked up. You know what I mean? Like, they will let us have power as long as it's behind a plexiglass, you know? Linoleum floors, right? I go to the post office quite often for my job, and every time I go scared, but giddy. You know? I go scared because I get a little anxious when I'm around somebody who's getting in trouble. But I go giddy because I'm nosy and I like to watch mess unfold, okay? So I was at the post office the other day and this white woman cut in front of everybody in line. I gasped, you guys. I almost reached out to warn her. I'm like, ooh, you in danger, girl. But then the little part of my brain that still listens to the ancestors was like, nah, let that shit play out. And so I'm watching it, right? And this woman goes right up to the counter and she's demanding things. And I watch as one black female postal worker turns into 2, turns into 3, turns into 4. And they're all gathered, just like reading her for filth, okay? At some point, somebody yelled World Star. I was like, wow. I was like, where did this popcorn come from? I was like, it was this great show. It was the best day. But then it got even better because I was next in line. And here's the thing, every postal worker is always mildly upset with you, right? No matter what you do, unless the person that came right before you really pissed them off. Oh, then you get to show up and be the golden child, okay? Oh yeah, you get to kiki with the best of them, all right? You get to be the young Sheldon of the post office at that point. I showed up, I walked up to her counter, and I leaned over and I was like, some people just don't know how to act, huh? She goes, whoo, child, who you telling? I was like, yeah, girl, let's steal some Sam's and get some margaritas. When are you off? Like, that was her favorite. You're correct. That is funny. But they don't just put white women in line, they put everybody in line. Like one time there was a black woman taking too long to move her bags. And the black female postal worker was like, ma'am, you gotta move your bags. You know, there's other customers. And this really pissed her off. She's like, you're rushing me. And she starts calling her all kind of bitches and hoes, right? And at this point, it's just black on black crime, right? So I'm still watching. I'm like, ooh. But then she escalates it. This black woman, this black customer starts calling the postal worker an Aunt Jemima bitch. I know, right? I said, not an Aunt Jemima bitch. And you guys, I looked behind the counter and she was making pancakes. Wow. I was like, where did the griddle come from? How did that? It's crazy. Crazy day at the post office. I moved here with my partner. I got married during the pandemic, and I did marry a man, which is not popular these days. But he is French, so it feels gay. Feels like we're getting away with a little something. And it is very nice. He's a very sweet man. I like cultural differences that we have. Like, up until last year, he thought that the Reading Rainbow was a library for queer youth. I know! I'm so lucky. Also, 3 weeks into dating him, I knew I had to marry him because I found out he had never heard anybody say, "Ooh, child." One day I was tired. I was like, "Ooh, child." He was like, "What's that?" Which means I had found the only man in America that had never exasperated a black woman. You guys, that is a unicorn. You have to marry that man. That is science. People have been asking me if I plan to learn French to communicate better with our in-laws, and no. I'm learning French so that people here know that I'm better than them. That's why, right? That's why we do it. That's why we open up Duolingo every day. Anybody else on Duolingo? Yes, Duolingo. Yes, Duolingo. We all know what it is, right? It's a language learning app. I made the mistake early on when I signed up on Duolingo. I followed a bunch of strangers. So now I have a Duolingo nemesis. Her name is Maria. And I can't stand her guts. I wish evil upon her every single day. Because Duolingo, they like to send you updates about your nemesis, right? I get updates about Maria. Duolingo be like, Maria just did 10 lessons today. I be looking at my phone like, well, fuck Maria. Fuck her. They're like, Maria just passed level 6. I'm like, sounds desperate, Maria. Sounds attention seeking. They were like, Maria just spent 24 hours in the app. I'm like, is Maria safe, actually? Maybe we need to find Maria. Yeah, not learning French for them. I'm learning it for me. I love my husband. One of the things that's cool about him is that he actually does all the cooking in our house, so my husband cooks for me. That's nice, right? Yeah. I love saying that when I know there's like heterosexual couples in the crowd. Because I know a man right now is like, don't go giving her no ideas. Don't go put no thoughts in her head, okay? You keep that to yourself, okay? But then, the women are always like, well, what's your secret? What's your secret? But they want the secret to be voodoo. They want the secret to be essential oils, They want the secret to be that I have my husband trapped in a basement right now. Like, they want the secret to be the plot to 9 to 5. And no, it's a really terrible answer. The answer is that I got lucky. I went on an app, and I got very lucky, it's nice, but it's a very terrible answer. People hate hearing that because they can't do anything with that, and I understand that. But then people, the girls will be like, what's the app? And I'm gonna tell you right now, I don't say the name of the app. I hate saying the name of the app because I feel like if I tell you that name, I feel like I'm giving you the number to an unreliable drug dealer. Like the stuff I got, that was some good shit. But the stuff Cindy got, Cindy's dead, y'all. Like, she's not with us no more. I'm so sorry. I can't give you the name of the app. You guys, I'm Kristal Adams. Keep it going.